And thank you for your patience. Let's see here, it's 17 minutes after the hour. That means we are 17 minutes late in getting started. But at least methinks we have gotten started. For whatever reason, I was having some difficulty getting up to Facebook tonight. We were leaving here just fine, but I guess the signal stopped on the Karen R somewhere. But anyhow, we're getting out there now. I see that we are there. So now that we are, let's get down to brass tacks, okay? Tonight, we're not going to kill any time, but you got your full hour. Tonight, we're going to begin with a story. You know, in the midst of all the doom and gloom about this coronavirus, there's a little heartwarming story. And I'll tell you what makes it so special. It's from a Jamaican family, mom, dad, and their two youngsters, two boys. And these folks live in China. Their surname, the Shirleys. Okay? Shirleys, S-H-I-R-L-E-Y-S, like the old biscuits. Yeah. You'll see that even though, people are going helter-skelter here, worrying and talking about this thing, and these folks are right there in the middle of it and doing quite well. We're going to show you that. I'm also going to show you something that it's a lot worse than what's happening here, believe me. You know, everybody is rushing out and running around scurrying to buy this and buy that because they don't know what the future holds and all this, you know, get especially toilet paper. Yeah. Well, yes, we have a level of panic buying here. And actually, only today, the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, they put out a release asking people to not participate in this panic buying that they're sensing out there, okay? Well, let me show you. I'm going to show you a little video in a few minutes about some panic buying that took place in the UK a couple of days ago. We'll get to that in just a minute. Yes, I do have the national report for you. And Mr. Ray Roberts is also going to be joining us. He's supposed to pop up at about 8:30. So we'll keep him waiting for a little while. But he's going to be with us electronically tonight. He's not coming to sit here with me. Tonight I'm all by my lonesome, okay? But, what the heck, I don't mind. All right, now, do you have any idea what it's like to be on the front line of this pandemic? Unless you're living in China, you can't say yes. No. Friends, although things seem to be settling down in Wuhan right now, which is the epicenter of this outbreak, they have a long way to go before things return to normal. But perhaps it may not have been as bad as many of us here seem to have thought. This is a video about a Jamaican family in Wuhan who they seem to have weathered the storm pretty well. I want you to listen to what not just mom and dad, but what the youngsters have to say. Okay? Yes, friends, check this out.
Hi guys, we are the Shirleys from Jamaica, and we are sending you this message from our home in Wuhan, China. That's ground zero to COVID, right guys? Yes, and I'm Aline.
I'm Bevan.
I'm Chase.
And I'm Cruz.
And we want you to know that in spite of the worldwide pandemic of the coronavirus, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is hope. Wuhan has been on lockdown for almost 2 months now. That's just about
52 days.
52 days. Yes, and for the first month or so, we were able to move around freely, even though most businesses were closed and there was no form of public transportation. But now we have to stay at home all day, every day. And in spite of that, we are healthy, we're giving God thanks, and life has been good. So we want to share some of the strategies that have helped us to go through this time, and our strategies are still helping us. And we hope that they will help you. Remember now that not everything will apply strictly to your situation.
Okay, some of the things that we have done, we have limited our travel outside our home, and when we go out, we wear the surgical mask. We beefed up our immune system with a brew that we've had from Jamaica, which is ginger, honey, garlic, apple cider vinegar, and sour oranges. And yes, there are trees here in our apartment complex in China with sour orange, and we are making best use of it possible.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, we practice good hygiene. We wash our hands frequently. Whenever we come from outside, we wash our hands and we remind each other not to touch our face, which is hard sometimes. And we have been playing a lot of games inside, board games, dominoes, stuff like that. And we keep in touch with family and friends and laugh a lot.
Yes. And we want you to remember that COVID-19 is not a death sentence. So Cruz can take us through some facts, right? Give us some facts.
Okay, sure. So remember that China's population is about 1.4 billion people, which is nearly 500 times bigger than Jamaica. As of today, March 15, of the 81,048 confirmed cases in China, about 67,023, or 83%, have fully recovered so far. And every day, over 1,000 cases are fully recovered. So we can definitely say that this pandemic now, will soon be in the rearview mirror for China. A lot of the chaos in China occurred in the early stages because there was not much knowledge about the virus. So the hospitals were overwhelmed, but now there's a lot more information and the rate of recovery is skyrocketing. So yeah, soon there will be no more cases in China.
Yeah, and Jamaica and other countries can now benefit from the knowledge that has been developed over these few difficult months. So I think that your experience should be a lot less traumatic than it was in the early days for us and for China. Yeah. So I think, what do you think, Chase?
Well, this war will be won, and it can be won if everyone plays their part. And we can limit the spread by taking personal responsibility for our safety and obeying the instructions that the government and the authorities give us.
Yeah.
And this is everybody's fight. It is a real crisis, but how should we react to it?
Yeah. How should we react? That's a very good question, Cheese. One, I don't think this is a time for people to be trying to make money off of each other.
Very true.
Right? And it should definitely not be a time to be spreading fake news or news that do not come from official sources. It should not be a time to cast blame or practice any form of prejudice, because this is a respecter of no one. And it's definitely not a time to panic. Instead,
But personal reflection. This is a good time for personal reflection. This is a good time to get closer to your family, bond with your family, spend time with them, play games. This for people who are in school, who would, especially those who would have their PEP exams or CSEC or CAPE. This is a good time to, spend time to revise your notes. Don't panic about not being able to finish the exams properly. They'll be making the correct adjustments for that. So yeah, just use this as a break where you can catch up on anything you've missed in the past or anything you don't understand.
yeah, I agree. We have some positives that have come out of this negative situation. Yes, believe it or not. I think For one, we have grown closer as a family
Sure.
unit. Yeah. What else, guys?
Well, we have grown closer to God, like individually and as a
Yes.
group.
Yes. Nothing like trouble to draw you closer to God, right? We have experienced the kindness of neighbors and strangers who have offered to help us even with the translation and getting food to buy. You know, it has been phenomenal, and we have gotten a lot of love from people all over, right, Bevon?
Yes, including the Jamaican embassy here in China. They have
Mhm.
really been supportive of us.
Yeah, and the Jamaica Association in China, yes, they've been very supportive. And so, with all that love and support, we want to give it back. We want to say to you, wherever you are, be Jamaica or anywhere in the world, we want to say,
Yes, COVID-19 is here, but don't fear.
Fear God. He's got this.
This too shall pass.
pass on the love, but not the germs. So cooperate with the authorities. We are doing it, and so can you.
One love.
Isn't that heartwarming? Isn't that heartwarming? And did you see those hidden messages in there? I certainly hope you took note, yeah? All right, folks, now, while the lines at our supermarkets here have been pretty long at times, I don't think they're anywhere near what you're about to see. Someone sent me this video a couple of days ago, and I thought, you guys just might get a chuckle out of this. And don't go trying this at our supermarkets here, okay? But take a look and have a little giggle. The first part's pretty quiet. Before the pandemonium. Well, don't go there. Don't go trying that at Foodland or Real Value or any of those places, Food Fair. All right, folks, I'll tell you what. Let's take our first little break here, and we'll be back in just a wee bit with the National Report.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and the 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Grenada issues another travel advisory. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The government of Grenada has issued new travel restrictions in response to widespread illness caused by COVID-19, reported in Iran, South Korea, China, and Europe. Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele says this will take effect from midnight on Wednesday, March 18th.
You will be quarantined for a period of 14 days upon arrival into Grenada if you are a Grenadian national or resident. If you are not a Grenadian national or resident and in the last 14 days you have been to Iran, South Korea, China, or anywhere in Europe, including the United Kingdom and Ireland, you will be refused entry into the country. Upon arrival from any other destination, you will be screened and asked to self-quarantine for 14 days. Please note, before disembarking, every passenger is required to complete a declaration form on your health status. You are also required to check in daily with the Ministry of Health, regardless of your point of origin. Additionally, additional methods of quarantine or isolation may become necessary if anyone becomes symptomatic. The Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation will be working out a schedule with the airlines for repatriation of visitors presently on island.
Minister Steele says effective 12 a.m. Tuesday, March 17th, Grenada's ports were closed to all cruise ships. As added precautionary measures, government is also requesting all restaurants, bars and refreshment houses to refrain from in-house dining unless social distancing can be guaranteed and instead utilize takeout services. Government is also urging the private sector to put contingency measures in place to ensure that work can be done at home while being cognizant that some employees will have to report to work to coordinate activities. 18 persons have been tested for the coronavirus, and the results of 10 have so far been returned, with all coming back negative. The government of Grenada is preparing to embark on a series of sector-based consultations to examine the potential impact of COVID-19. Following the broad-based gathering last Thursday that was initiated by Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, several sector-specific consultations are now being planned for this week. The identified sectors are banks and credit unions, agriculture, wholesale and retail, construction, hotel and restaurant, labor, national insurance scheme and transportation. Explaining the rationale for the meetings, Dr. Mitchell said it is important that government is able to determine what is happening in the various sectors, the type of impact that the pandemic is creating in each specific area, so that government can in turn develop appropriate measures to stimulate economic activity. The Prime Minister and Minister for Finance also noted that sector representatives can themselves be valuable sources of ideas for combating any negative impact from the outbreak. He said, and I quote, "Going forward, we must consider various strategies, including possible stimulus packages for various sectors and the role of NIS. All options must be carefully considered as we collectively seek to ensure that the local economy weathers this outbreak. This is a national issue and we must all be part of the solution," unquote. Dr. Mitchell has also indicated that efforts are continuing at the regional and international levels to address the economic impact of COVID-19. This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break. Welcome back. A Cuban medical team is scheduled to arrive in Grenada over the weekend to bolster the country's efforts to prepare for COVID-19. Minister for Health Honorable Nicholas Steele says the team of specialists is expected here on Saturday.
These will include doctors and nurses specifically trained in accident and emergency intensive care, as well as infectious diseases. And we continue to request more. The Cuban pharmaceutical product known as interferon that you have heard discussions on social media about, we have discussed and reached out with the government of Cuba through their embassy here and are in the process of ensuring that that medication is on island shortly. I want to be specific and say that it is a new drug, but we have decided to make sure that we have all tools possible that we can use once our challenges become greater.
COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. George Mitchell says the medication is not a vaccine, but is one designed to boost the immune system.
We don't know for sure that that medication kills the virus, but what it does do is to boost your immune system. And if we are saying that the primary reason why people are going to demise is because their immune system is low, then we believe sincerely, and based on reports coming out of other countries, China for example, that medication was invaluable in saving some lives. We believe that we're going to be able to use that medication in those instances where people have reached that type of medical situation where they would require it. That is to boost the immune system and to give the system an opportunity to recover. So that is where the medication would come in. We want to reiterate that the medication is not directly a vaccine, or it does not kill the virus per se, but it helps with your overall ability to fight the virus.
Minister Steele, meanwhile, says the General Hospital is equipped with one isolation facility that can accommodate between 2 to 4 persons. The former CID headquarters is being prepared as a second isolation unit. Contractors are working to have it ready by the end of the week. Finally, in the news, the government of the People's Republic of China will be providing medical assistance to the government of Grenada. This is to ensure that Grenada continues to take proactive measures against the COVID-19 virus. Honorable Nicholas Steele, Minister for Health and Social Security, announced at Tuesday's weekly post-cabinet briefing that a minimum of 500 pieces per item will be contributed.
For our medical personnel team, protective face masks for medical use, medical disposable protective clothing, infrared thermometers, medical protective goggles, disposable sterilized rubber surgical gloves, and medical isolation shoe covers, all at minimum 500 pieces each of those items.
Minister Steele expressed his gratitude to the People's Republic of China for strengthening bilateral relations and concerns made for the people of Grenada.
I want to take this opportunity as well to include the government of the People's Republic of China for the assistance that they are now able to offer us. And again to thank them for the very severe measures they took very early that has bought us the time to date. And we need to recognize their efforts.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, March 17th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada issues another travel advisory. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until
you know, what I was doing this afternoon, I was feeling lazy to go outside again, so I just said, you know what, I just did parachute. Yeah, but you know, I mean, I think a lot of people scared to be back inside for a while. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work, what's going to happen, you know, we have to but you know, the hospital doesn't want anybody there, so that, you know, you're not clinical.
Mags, I gotta go. Mags, I gotta go.
Bye.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Spice Island.
Redleg, energizing our Grenada.
Calling all vehicle owners, inspection and licensing continues, and at Hubbard's we want you to be ready from February 16th to March 31st. Registration numbers 2501 to 5000 with single registration letter, or registration numbers 251 to 500 with plural registration letters will receive 11% off new torque tires and PowerMax batteries. Don't get caught unprepared. Visit us today at the Motor Department in Mount Gay or the Tire Bay in Grand Anse near to the building supplies.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Alrighty, folks. Alrighty, it's now, let's see, 8 minutes away from the hour, and there he is, Mr. Ray Roberts. Good evening to you, sir.
Hey, George, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Good to see you, too. First of all, let me say that you and I talked earlier on today, and I understand that you were on the beach, or no, you didn't go to the beach this morning, but you said that you're now going to be going to the beach for a little while. How come?
For the week, just for the week. Well, let's put it this way. I've been around the cruise ship area, where the cruise ship passengers are, or used to be. I'm just giving it a break.
Well, let me tell you, you're going to have a lot of time to take breaks because, for example, tomorrow, there's supposed to be a ship with 4,000 in here tomorrow, and it ain't going to be coming. And today we were expecting a smaller one. So
I don't think there wouldn't be any for the rest of the season. That's my impression. Season ends when? Month end?
Yeah, actually end of April. That's when the season is supposed to end, generally.
Good.
So tell me, let me ask you this, Ray. I'm sure you know that there's a lot of talk about the virus is on everybody's lips right now. But how, from your perspective, how do you think Grenadians are responding to the advice that they are being given by the authorities? Is everybody washing their hands for 20 seconds and staying away from touching their faces and stuff like that?
Well, I think I get a sense that some people are serious in the implementation of what we have been given by our authorities and what we have perhaps picked up on social media, traditional media. But there are others who, to me, have not heard the news yet. On the docks, around the docks there, I drove through there yesterday and today, and the gathering, to me, I get the impression they have not got the news as yet. And then I see by some shops, you see a similar thing, 3, 4 people, 10, how many? They're having a drink and they're having a conversation. And sometimes they stop you and you said, in my case, I say, I'm busy, I'm heading to somewhere else. So I'm not too sure we all have internalized the challenges that we face. But I think we have been lucky not to hear about any cases in Grenada. The authorities have said we have not recorded any. So it means that perhaps we either lucky, we blessed, or perhaps we don't know that we have as yet.
Well, just wait until the official announcement comes out that we have a case in Grenada. Everybody's standing to attention.
Well, another positive I saw today, at least two things that I was pleased with. I noticed a couple of our bus drivers were sanitizing, and I thought that was quite nice. The chauffeur was out there with his stuff. Whatever he had to rub the seat, around the seat until the seat and so forth. And I saw also some discipline in people who perhaps were recognizing social distancing. So to me, some of it we have implemented on our own. And the other one I saw today too, there was a loudspeaker in the village. Frequency, Shirleys area, a young lady's voice, quite pleasant, telling us the simple things that we must do. Wash your hands, alcohol, substance, and things like that. I thought it was quite okay. And I did listen to the minister's press conference. I thought that was good too. I would suggest to him that he shouldn't be that much bothered with social media. You're not going to stop it. There are going to be people who are going to be doing what they're accustomed doing. And I thought George Mitchell was very well spoken. He acknowledged that some of the behavior is very inappropriate, but handled it very nicely. So I thought today, to me, was a pleasant day in terms of the way we portrayed the whole challenges that we face.
Yeah. Have you been to any of the supermarkets?
Yes, I've been there yesterday, today. It's not that aggressive as it was over the weekend.
Yeah.
I spoke to one of the popular ones today. The manager said to me that the Trinidad port closing tonight. There may be some challenges getting things like onions and potatoes for the next 2 weeks. But, I mean, we will certainly survive that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I did get the feeling today that things were very calm. Not just because we didn't have any cruise ships in town, but I think Grenadians are starting to come to grips with the fact that we have a serious situation on our hands, and I don't know if it's a feeling of helplessness or hopelessness, but they seem to be taking it in stride. But I'm just waiting to hear the announcement that we do have a case here. Not a death, but a case. And by the way, speaking about deaths, during the national report, I was taking a look at CNN here, and I see that in the United States, the death toll has now risen to 105.
Well, that's a big country with 300 and plus million people. So that's a token in any event. I read a piece today which perhaps I hope we do not really, I hope it doesn't happen. The hotel in question, I saw the press release, and I heard some people say that, identifying people who work there and were in some way, if I may say, discriminating, I would hope things like that are not pursued. I would hope it's an incident, it's a case, it's perhaps unfortunate, but I hope we don't begin to single out people that he or she works there. The visitor was here, and perhaps he works there, so maybe he could have it.
Yeah.
I think that is a frightening part, and I would hope that people don't do things like that.
You're talking about the press release from the Radisson, are you?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I heard, as I said, I was all about today, trying to listen to conversations and engaging. And some of it was mentioned, and I was trying to indicate to people, well, we should have more sympathy because remember, some of these people have a family, and we shouldn't go about pinpointing. Ray works in that hotel, George works in that hotel. The visitor was there, so maybe two of these guys, we should keep distance from them.
Yeah.
We may do so, but don't remind us that we work there. Let's pray that we don't have any cases from inside.
You know, another release that came out today was from the Grenada Chamber of Industry and Commerce. And a lot of people have been asking, where is the Chamber of Commerce? Because there's been a lot happening in this country over the past year or so, and we haven't been hearing from the Chamber. But they issued a release today, and two things jumped out at me. One, they were calling on Grenadians to not participate in panic buying. You know, everybody's rushing out to grab this and grab that. The other thing they were doing was asking the business community to not engage in price gouging. And I thought that was good.
I read it too. I thought it was good. It's what? I would think how many sentences? Maybe about 12. I would hope that the chamber has resurrected and would certainly be an active participant. I think, George, this is a serious issue for Grenada, particularly when you look at the cruise ship, the impact of the cruise ship. That's going to hurt quite a number of ordinary people. I mean, you work in that industry. The small people, between December and April, that's where they make a bit of money, and that's going to subsidize the remaining month until the season starts again. I saw a piece with Russ, and I followed the newspapers through British Airways, one other airways. If they're not going to be here frequently, it means that the hotels are going to have a drop in numbers, and they're going to be layoffs or rotation. That's not going to be good for workers. So to me, the impact on workers is something we have to take very seriously.
You mentioned British Airways. Up to this morning, I spoke to a travel agent here and asked him whether or not British Airways had issued any statement about a possible cancellation. And he said that he, a travel agent, had not heard anything from British Airways. In the meantime, I had heard from a colleague of mine here in the media that he had heard from somebody in England who said that she was hoping to be here this week, but her flight by British Airways was canceled. So there seems to be some uncertainty.
Well, there has to be, because I read a piece on a St. Lucia newspaper today about the pilot who was taken into quarantine because he tested apparently for the symptoms. So we're having quite a bit of concern re British Airways, and I'm sure sooner or later something will be said about it, in a big way, because it seems like the challenges we have had in the Caribbean, much of it seems to have come from passengers who came with British Airways. In fact, the first release that you talked about did point out that British Airways, they brought the passengers to Grenada.
Did you hear that the Prime Minister of St. Lucia has self-quarantined himself?
Yes, I saw that too. And I just, while you were on your other pieces there, basketball star, what's his name again? He has tested positive for the coronavirus. Leading NBA player, his name just disappeared. But that's interesting because he is one of the superstars, not LeBron James, and he's not Steph Curry. But one of the top players, he has tested. So you have had big stars being impacted. In fact, George, very interesting. Since I'm missing the world of sport, there isn't any major event that is on in the world of sport. I mean, the world of sport is actually at a standstill.
Yeah.
There'll be no Caribbean game. England has returned to England from Sri Lanka, South Africa from India, New Zealand from Australia, and I can't see the West Indies going to England next month.
Yeah.
And tennis tournament, the next WTA event, that's the women's tour, they are tentatively scheduled for May the 2nd. So really and truly, it looks like we will not have many of the top events that we look forward to. In fact, the Kentucky Derby will not be staged in May again. It will be staged maybe later in May.
Yeah.
So quite a number of events are going to be off the agenda.
And right here as well, Ray, because only today there's an event which garners a lot of attention every year. It's put on by the Grenada Cooperative Bank. They're trying to raise money to repair a home for people who are addicted to drugs and so on here. And they mentioned that they're pumping up Fun Walk both here and in Carriacou. Both of them are not canceled but postponed. And I'm hoping that they really mean it when they say postpone. Maybe later on this year things will clear up and they can go ahead, because they do raise a lot of money for this very worthy cause.
Well, George, as you mentioned, I am hoping that not all of us sit home and get fat. I would hope that the idea of keeping fit will be with us. Even though it's to walk around the house or to clean the house every day and sweat, but I would hope that physical education is a part of every family in Grenada. Because yesterday I did take a nap, but the challenge was when I said to my friend, let's go. Somebody asked me if I did not get the news. I said, listen, you're going to be at one side of the court, I'm going to be at the other side. We don't even need to shake hands. We are going to be legitimately more than 6 feet apart. And at the end of the game, you go in your car, I go in my car. So the only thing we touch is the ball. So, because there's no contact unless I decide to run into you. But there's no contact. So I would hope that Canteen playing field yesterday was basically empty. Saturday it was the same, Sunday it was the same. I don't know that I've seen anybody on the basketball court in Grenada. Normally there would be 5, 10, 15 of them there. I haven't seen anyone there. So really and truly, George, it looked like we are in a period when we are just perhaps sitting and waiting and watching. But I hope people will I know the gyms have imposed some form of restriction, but I still hope we can walk individually and keep fit. Yeah.
I get to climb the stairs up to this apartment.
Yes, and your stairs, you can do that 10 times.
By the way, Margaret has responded to you. She says that it's Kevin Durant and three other Nets players have tested positive.
Right. Yeah. Kevin Durant is one of the superstars for one of the Los Angeles teams, and really and truly, I guess it will send a strong message to sports people all over the world.
Yeah. So, by the way, just getting back to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia for a minute, I want to clarify here. I know that he has been tested, but up to the time we got started tonight, I had not heard the results of his testing. It's just that he got up this morning and wasn't feeling well, so he decided to self-quarantine himself. And by the way, the Prime Minister of Canada, his wife, I think she's tested positive.
Yes, as well as the Prime Minister of Spain, his wife is also a bit in quarantine. So we have had a lot of significant stars.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something that I need to mention tonight too is that on Thursday night, Grenadians have a lot of ways to vent, and they're doing a lot of that on social media right now. But there's going to be a grand opportunity coming their way on Thursday night because the Ministry of Health, they're going to have a town hall meeting. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I heard. I saw it advertised on your program, and then the press conference indicated that it's on it. So I've heard a bit of it.
Yeah,
I hope people tune in.
It's a virtual town hall meeting, so you can participate online by going to facebook.com/Health Grenada, and that's one word, Health Grenada. This thing is going to be held down at the Grenada Trades on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock. But I don't think they want people coming down there, because what's it called? The social distancing? social whatever. Okay, let me turn back here to social media. Elid says, doesn't your government have some contingency package for businesses and employment that will be affected by COVID? Just asking. Well, I haven't heard of any specific programs like you do in the United States, but we just don't have the sort of resources they do in the United States.
No,
but I got the feeling listening to the minister's post-cabinet briefing today that they're reaching out. They really are reaching out to try and help certain sectors. So keep your ears tuned. I think they're still putting things together, but I believe you're going to hear about some packages per se. Anything you want to add, Bill?
Well, the one thing I would want the authorities to think about, there are people whose children enjoy the lunch that is provided by the school, and in many cases that may be the major meal of the day. I would hope that we would perhaps identify areas where people perhaps may not be as affluent as others, who may be looking forward, particularly during the middle of the month, don't have the income, but there is this guaranteed lunch in the primary school that young boy or that young girl can have. With school off, there ain't any free lunch. Well, it's $1, I think, or less than $1, but whatever. I would hope that some organization would recognize that that's going to be, that lunch is now going to be available to them, but would do something, maybe once a week or twice a week or whatever it is, to selected areas and provide lunches for kids who I'm sure will appreciate it. Because George, I don't want to call it any village because I don't want to identify any village, but I know for sure that there are people who have expressed that concern, that school lunch is very important for some families because it is the major lunch that the children get on a daily basis. So I would hope that is something that, is on the front burner. Yes, I am grateful to hear people talk about workers because, George, the people who are on the beach doing the vending, if there are no tourists or no visitors, me and you go to the beach, but we go for a bath. We may buy a Coke or we may buy a drink, but it's very unlikely we'll purchase some of the other things. So I'm saying that it is good that we keep that in mind, that some people are going to be out of income as a result of the, I don't know if it's a ban or the suspension we have on the cruise ship season. And quite clearly, the hotels are going to be impacted. I don't see any other hotels having the numbers that they usually have at this time.
You know, I heard the president of the Taxi Drivers Association this afternoon saying that 1/3 of the cruise ship industry this season, the season began, end of October, and is supposed to end at the end of April. And 1/3 of that is gone. And you know, just looking through the cruise ship schedule here, it seems to me that unlike in previous years where the season would start tapering off like around now, and by the end of April you have just a trickle, this year it was the other way around. A lot of the big cruise ships were scheduled to come in here in the last month or so of this season. So that's going to be a major, major blow. Margaret says here in response to what you were saying a minute ago, she says, well, they can do as New York did, which is continue to provide breakfast and lunch as a pickup service. What say you, sir?
Well, it's a good idea. I mean, let's put it there. The primary school, the teachers know who are the ones that are going to be impacted most. So it's not a difficult thing. I mean, there's no way Westmoreland will need that. There's no way some of the private schools will need that. I'm just assuming. But quite clearly there are schools in rural areas that the teachers, the GOT, and the state or the chamber or the union or whoever it is can be generous to say, look, we'll do one a week and, you know, try to make life as comfortable in these times for people. Yeah. Because, George, I could see it, to me, it's going to be more difficult than after Ivan. After Ivan, you had the generosity of people in Trinidad, the OECS, people in New York, Canada, Europe. Now, they have their own challenges, so I don't know that they are going to be that focused enough as they were when Ivan came. So I'm saying, George, this is something we have to think about.
Margaret responds to you here about, or to what I was saying a little while ago about the town hall meeting. I said, you know, I don't assume they would want people crowding down to the trade center for this town hall meeting. Margaret says, well, they can have people. They just have to be seated 3 to 6 feet apart. She always has a solution.
Well, I think they can follow it just as I'm home talking to you. And I would think that computers and what have you are popular across the country. So, I mean, we like to go there. I go to pay my bills because of the socialization. I meet people who I have not seen in a while. Yeah. But I could very well pay it in a different way. So I look forward to it. I wouldn't promise to be from start to finish, but I'll take a bit. And well, I have to because there's no sport, so I can't tune into ESPN. I'm looking at some cricket here now, but a match that was played about 2 weeks ago. I didn't see it, so it's new.
Yeah. By the way, we are meeting me. Wow, I'm going to carry this town hall meeting on Thursday evening. Okay, right. Which means we're not going to have a Thursday edition of Gudday Grenada. T.F. Richard says the economic impact will definitely hit Grenada from this week with a closure of the Trinidad border. I really hope that this doesn't last very long. It's indeed a sad situation. Yeah, boy, you should have seen the expression on Rowley's face yesterday when he made the announcement. I don't think he was at all happy to do this, and he made it very clear we cannot legally stop Trinidadians abroad from coming back home. But I'm sure he feels a little bit uneasy about having to do that, you know, because just because you're a Trini doesn't mean you're going to be not bringing the virus back with you. Okay. What are you laughing at?
Well, I think about Margaret.
Yeah. Margaret has a yardstick all ready to measure. You stay that far from me, and if you're going to breathe that way.
Well, Rowley may not alone at the Arctic to work.
Okay, thanks a lot, my bro. Good to see you.
And all the best. Keep safe and walk up that step 3-4 times a day.
Well, you know, I guess I'm in a sort of self-quarantine myself because I did not go into town today. I may have to tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah. Those steps are pretty good. I'm longing for the day when I can afford to put an escalator in there, so you just hop on and ride up.
I hope you don't get to that point. It's just the ideal, my friend. Good man. Bye-bye.
All right.
Great.
I'm always on the move. Training, traveling, competing. So it's good to know I have Quad Bank in the palm of my hand.
Introducing e-banking, one of many customer convenience services from Grenada Cooperative Bank. And there's more to come.
It's swift, simple, and secure.
Conveniently located in the Grandand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenadans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, neighbor.
Here's the bill I asked you to pay for me.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need. And we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs.
They burn less energy, right?
Much less. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
And Grenlec is always advising us not to open the fridge too often.
That's right. And my family washes and irons in bulk.
With fuel prices changing all the time, how do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
So while Grenada can't control fuel prices, I can conserve energy and save money.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Alrighty, pilgrims, time to pull the curtain down. It's 24 minutes after the hour. Again, sorry about the late start tonight, but we made it. We're here. Parting word from the Holy Scriptures. Tonight's reading comes to you from the book of Isaiah, the first chapter, verses 10 and 16 to 20. Hear the word of the Lord, you princes of Sodom. Listen to the instruction of your God, people of Gomorrah. Wash yourselves clean. Put away your misdeeds from before my eyes. Cease, doing evil. Learn to do good. Make justice your aim. Redress the wronged. Hear the orphan's plea. Defend the widow. Come now. Let us set things right, says the Lord. Though your sins be like scarlet, they will become white as snow. Though they be crimson red, they may become white as wool. If you are willing and obey, you shall eat the good things of the land. But if you refuse and resist, the sword shall consume you, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. Isaiah 1, verses 10 and 16 to 20. Okie doke, pilgrims, that's where Georgie Porgy is going to pull the curtain down. My goodness, 27 minutes after the hour. Hey, maybe get to bed early tonight. Hey, for a change, that'd be nice. Thank you very much for joining me for tonight's edition of Good Day, Grenada, evening edition. And by His grace, let's do it all over tomorrow evening. Nobody knows what tomorrow holds, but be optimistic. It's going to be good.